Time now 5:16. A wake-up Carpinteria. Temperatures right now 62 degrees. Highs will be 74.
And wake up Seaside current temperature 57 degrees. Your high today 75.
All right, let's check out a couple of highlights from last night's Late Show with David Letterman. You know, that current crisis in Syria we were telling you about at the top of the newscast, not necessarily a laughing matter, but Dave, well, he continues to poke a little fun at it.
That's right. He did so again last night, once again calling out Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. Let's take a listen.
The guy's a wise guy on top of everything else. He's a murderous, evil, villainous dictator, and on top of that, he's snarky. I mean, pick one or the other. We don't need both. Oh. He said, John Kerry, Secretary of State, says you have 7 days to turn over your chemical weapons. And Bashar al-Assad says to John Kerry, Secretary of State, 7 business days? I mean, come on.
But a dunch.
Yeah, exactly. We don't like those snarky world leaders, do we?
Hey, so funny. He called him a villain and then called him snarky. When was the last time you met a villain that wasn't a little on the snarky side?
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know what? We're going to stay with the political theme. On the show last night, Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel, who served under both President Clinton and President Obama. And Dave even got Mayor Emanuel there to do a little Bill Clinton impression. Here's how it went.
Dave, this is a big deal. This is really a big deal here, being on here on the limit, you know, in Hope, Arkansas. we had a David Letterman. He's a good friend of mine. Yeah, Dave, this presidency thing is really good, but, you know, I want to be a late night show talk. I really like it, Dave.
All right.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. Well, he served under President Clinton, but yeah. Speaking of impressions, by the way, on the show tonight, the one and only Billy Crystal. Maybe he'll do one for Dave. Also singer Sheryl Crow.
I'm a big fan of Billy. All right, well, you can catch all the action of David Letterman, of course. That's tonight at 11:35, following Central Coast News with Mark and Jazz.
All right, switching gears now. You know what? You may think that bow ties and music may not exactly go together, but you know what? They actually do, at least for one individual.
That's right. ZB Savoy is doing just that, and right now he's touring the West Coast, spreading the old school gospel of fashion and music. ZB Savoy is on tour with his band Chivalry, but ZB is also creating his own line of bow ties.
That's right. ZB joins us right now here on the news desk. And ZB, got to ask you about, first of all, we'll get to the bow ties in a second here, but we'll talk about the music first. You have an extensive musical background, singer, songwriter, producer, recording engineer, and all that. Just tell us about your music.
Yeah, I started in LA kind of being an engineer and a songwriter for other bands, and had always played in bands myself. And within the last 5 years, I kind of got out of the studio and back onto the road and playing live shows. And so I do my thing, play a lot of...
What kind of music do you play?
It's a singer-songwriter, kind of a folk pop. People call it folk pop all the time.
Very nice.
I like folk pop. Now, ZB, I don't know if you know this, but Brett Martin, our reporter here in our Salinas Bureau, well, he loves bow ties. So I have to ask you, where did you start this whole theme of bow ties? And I like the one you have on right now.
I heard Brad was a fan of the bow tie, implementing the bow tie Friday, which I love to hear. I had always worn a bow tie for the last couple years playing, and so I just sort of ran out of designs and figured that it was a good thing to start to do, is to make my own. And as I started to make them, they sort of started to sell, and the business just kind of started to roll. So I'm
very cool.
So you got the bow ties and the music. Do they kind of tie together? Do they kind of go hand in hand a little bit?
In a way, they do. And the band itself has a little bit of a look to it that has the haberdashian throwback feel, you know, with vests and bow ties and suspenders and that sort of thing. So they do. They meld. They're both creative outlets, I think.
They certainly are.
Now I have a question. Do your bow ties and your songs actually like match up? Are you ever singing about the bow ties and the design of the song?
I don't take it that far, no.
Had to ask.
More just on the surface. Yeah, sure, no. No, it's really folk-based stuff, regular singer-songwriter songs.
And you also, besides the bow tie, you do have the regular necktie like I typically wear, you know, Monday through Friday. You've actually been nice enough to
absolutely
let me have one of those. I will certainly wear this this week. This is blue. I usually wear blue on Friday, so I don't have the bow tie Friday. I've got the blue Friday.
There you go.
But somebody's interested in not only your music but your bow ties. Where can they go?
Yeah, zbsavoy.com houses both my music page and my men's line. And I've neckties, skinny ties, pocket squares, suspenders, scarves, man scarves, very male design.
Man scarves, okay.
Yep, the man scarf is very popular right now.
ZB, can I ask you a question about your fashion? Here, I see you've got a mix of stripes on right now. Okay, I'm also wearing stripes, but not quite to your design. So tell me, do those actually go together? Because you look very swanky, I would say.
Does it go together? You kind of, as long as it's obnoxious enough, I feel like it goes together.
I think it does.
If you wear stripes with checks, then it somehow works, right?
I feel like we might have you on some of our new fashion segments that may come up just for your expertise.
I'd be happy to do it.
Well, I think you look very dapper, but we're gonna hear a little music that you might provide us. You're gonna take us out to break, and we'll get a little sample here. This is ZB Savoy. Take it away.
I'm keeping my eyes open. I see trouble on the way. As long as I